everyone and welcome to the show. My name is Sylwia Gorajek and today I'm joined by Sharon Thomas, CEO of Fulfill.io. Fulfill helps retailers always know their inventory, whether they are online or offline. Hello Sharon, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You started your business in June 2015.
That is right.
And your product is live and has lots of amazing features.
True.
Can you tell us more what Fulfill actually does?
If you're an internet retailer, today you have to be on way more places than you had to be, let's say a few years back. A few years back, you would bring a customer to your website, AdWords, or any other medium, and then you would ship the product to your customer. Today, to address the same set of customers, you have to be on multiple channels. You have to sell on marketplaces like Amazon or Jet, which did not exist a while ago. You have to be on Facebook, you have to be on Twitter. So the number of platforms where a retailer has to be has increased. We solve that problem. We help retailers to list the products and the inventory that they have across these places. If they sell one in any of these channels, we take down the inventory everywhere else. And when they do get orders, we give them a convenient way to fulfill those and get the product to the customer fast.
You're coming from India.
That's right.
And how did it all get started? Did you start in India or Silicon Valley? Okay.
We started in India and we got accepted into the 500 Startups program, which is how we moved into the Valley here.
After what time did you apply to 500?
It was almost immediately. As soon as we found product market fit, we decided to apply to 500. In fact, it was one of the previous companies, founders of one of the previous companies that was in 500 that advised us to apply. And we decided to apply and we got in.
But for how long were you working on the product before you applied? Because it looks like everything happened so fast and you're live already.
We were really lucky, and it was just 3 months into the company that we applied to 500. We got interviewed. One of the things that 500 looks into is if the company is getting a product market fit or already has a product market fit. They believe that Fulfill has a good fit there, so they decided to accept us into the program, I guess.
You built your product in a really short time.
True.
How come is that?
We built it on top of several prominent open source tools, which helped us to get to market faster. And we are big believers of the lean startup methodology, so our first minimum viable product, the version 1 that we put out, was built really fast, and then we iterated on the feedback that we received from the customer.
So you think that it's better to build on a ready products than to be building big platforms, which you don't know if are going to be actually helpful?
Absolutely. And today there's a ton of stuff available for programmers to really get to market faster. For example, Amazon Web Services makes it super easy to build your cloud infrastructure. If you want telephony, use something like Twilio. So there are a lot of tools out there. There are open source platforms, there are open source frameworks, there's existing infrastructure which you should definitely leverage and get to market faster.
Are you an engineer yourself?
Yes, I am.
How did you learn this? When did you actually start doing this?
It's interesting. I started writing code when I was 11, started with games, but I wrote my first commercial business application when I was 14. That was a very, very bad piece of software, something I would not be very proud of today, but it helped me get the confidence and get started.
So you were actually since then always doing programming?
Yes, I've always been writing programs since then.
So it's you and 3 other co-founders?
That's right.
And you're all coming from India?
Right.
That's where you met?
That's right. We have all worked together in the past. We have solved several problems for companies around the world, from aircraft taxation to managing retail, to managing manufacturing around the globe. So we have worked together in the past and we have solved these different issues. It was there that we also realized how the internet retail landscape is changing and how a cloud ERP could be a great product. So we discussed the idea, we decided to start together, and here we are. For
how long have you known each other before?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
So you're pretty sure of your co-founders, you know each other well?
Absolutely, I had no doubts. That was the best decision I have made, and I had no questions about it.
And you also mentioned that you have a family business.
In fact, that's an interesting story. So I used to work for my dad, who runs a family business, and that was where I had an encounter with ERP systems for the first time. Did you know that most ERP systems fail? In fact, 60% of ERP implementations fail. and we had a failure there too, which was what drove me to start looking more into ERP systems and try and have a successful implementation there. So I would say my family business was my first ERP implementation project, and it went quite well.
Since when are you in Silicon Valley?
I've been on and off, and this spell I've been here since September.
That's when the 500 Startups Accelerator program started.
That is right.
So how do you like it?
It's amazing. It's a completely different experience. I would totally recommend it to any founder who is starting a company.
What do you think of accelerators like 500 Startups? What do they help with?
500 is the only accelerator that I've been to, and it's been really great. 500 Startups itself specializes in growth and distribution, and we have been getting a lot of help in the space. Without 500, I don't think we would be growing as fast as we are growing today.
What are you actually doing there?
We have a large office space where we have 35 batch companies which come in every day. So we work with other founders of companies. We have a distro team. We have a team from 500 which helps us with our everyday issues, helps us grow faster. And when we have problems, we have someone who listens to us and advises us and keeps going.
Do you get any sleep at all during the program?
We do. In fact, one of the two things that they recommend us in addition to working is getting good exercise and good sleep.
Okay, and so right now you are preparing to demo day.
That's right.
What's your goal for demo day? What do you have to be ready with?
The hardest part is a 2-minute pitch. It's just 2 minutes. So condensing the business idea of Fulfill, which is really, really complex, into a 2-minute pitch is probably the hardest part about it. And we are also trying and scaling up our growth. So we have a good hockey stick graph to show our investors.
What are your expectations for demo day? Or after demo day?
We expect to raise our seed round after demo day. It's going to be about 500 investors and their associates who would be there at the demo day.
And right now, 500 invested in you.
That's right.
And that's the only investment you've gained so far?
That's the only investment we have gained. Otherwise, we have bootstrapped the company.
What are your plans for after 500 startups?
We have already set up a US office, so we would be scaling that up further. We are already hiring in the US, so growing the US company would be our primary.
Yeah, you're staying in US. You're not going back to India.
That is right.
And there is 7 of you in the company.
That's right.
How about other employees? Are they in India or are they here? Did they come with you?
All my co-founders are here, which is they're going through the same program. After the program, we would be splitting ourselves into 2 teams to grow the engineering back home in India and to have the rest of the company scaling up here in the US.
How about hiring? Do you plan to hire any people in the near future?
Absolutely.
And how are you going to do this?
We already have jobs open, so if you know someone and if you're looking at this, please do apply. You can see the job openings that we have on AngelList.
Is this the best channel to be hiring at this stage?
For a startup, I think so. Everyone on AngelList probably expects to find a startup job, while on other platforms, people are usually looking for either larger companies or perhaps including startups. So AngelList, at least, is a refined list of people who are definitely looking for jobs in a startup.
Demo Day is happening in February.
Right.
When exactly?
Feb 16th.
February 16th.
That's right.
And after Demo Day, are you planning to stay in Mountain View or do you consider moving to San Francisco? What are your plans?
We would be moving to San Francisco. We intend setting up an office here.
Is it because it's easier to network here?
It is. That is definitely one of the reasons.
And more events, right?
Yes, more events, and it's a much better place for a growing startup to be in.
Thank you so much for coming to the show. More information can be found at your website. That's fulfill.io.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.